Here in the East Coast of the United States, the point of operation will be Atlanta, because it's the highest city in the East that will be safe from the changing coastline. Here in the West, the new capital of the United States will be Denver, Colorado. Denver has been set up, and they are actually moving things. It has been activated, just so you know, which is why we have many federal units moving in here, as well as departments and agencies. They're already here, and more are coming, so it's been activated. I'm not aware that you know this, but for the last 4.5 to 5 years, they have been moving the National Archives out of Washington, D.C. to Colorado. 18-wheelers go in under DIA, Denver International Airport, and some things are being stored here. Others are being moved to other locations using the underground tram system. So there's quite a bit going on, and things have been, the timeline has been moved up. In Europe, nations are preparing the best that they can. In England, I know that they are moving equipment to the north of Great Britain. They have many underground facilities there. They're doing the very best they can. However, it's an island. I don't know how well it's going to deal with that.
We have technology that we can see exactly who's in these locations and buildings. So they're targeting and bombing homes, knowing who and how many children were actually inside. My name is Josephine Gilbo. I'm a 17-year Army veteran. I recently got out of the military last year. Having that background as an intelligence officer and understanding what defense actually is, I can see clearly that this is not self-defense. The civilian casualties is catastrophic. They're targeting homes filled with children. The elite that sit in Capitol Hill sit there and lie over and over and over. I just want to highlight one of the biggest awakenings that I think I've had the last few weeks coming here and lobbying with the senators and the congressmen is just how corrupt our government is. And that anyone that's in the military is simply just one chess piece that they use at their leisure for their own internal gain to protect their own internal assets and money.
Because if you fly over these areas that are burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that are just totally destroyed, one home sitting there because it had the right roof on it. And anyway, because if you fly over these areas that are burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that are just totally destroyed, one home sitting there because it had the right roof on it.
You have to stop. Y'all keep talking. Huh? You keep talking, man. And you shut the fuck up.
Banks don't lend money. Banks, again, at law, it's very clear, they're in the business of purchasing securities. That's it. So you say, okay, don't, confuse me with all that legalese. No. I want a loan. I want a loan. Yep. Fine, here's the loan contract, here's the offer letter, and you sign. At law, it's very clear, you have issued a security, namely a promissory note, and the bank is going to purchase that. That's what's happening.
Put it in layman's terms, what does that mean?
It means that what the bank is doing is very different from what it presents to the public that it's doing. How does this fit together? So you say, fine, the bank purchases my promissory note, but how do I get my money? I want, it's a loan, I want my money.
200 grand, right?
I don't care about the details, I want the money. The bank will say, well, you'll find it in your account with us. That would be technically correct. If they say, we'll transfer it to your account, that's wrong, because no money is transferred at all.
It's already
from
in the bank.
Anywhere inside the bank or outside the bank. Why? Because what we call a deposit is simply the bank's record of its debt to the public. Now, it also owes you money, and its record of the money it owes you is what you think you're getting as money, and that's all it is.
Chicago's manufacturing facility looks like a nursery, but inside these plants, they're growing a new kind of vaccine. The technology is called a virus-like particle.
At Medicago, we use a careful step-by-step process to develop vaccines. using our plants as mini bioreactors. We start with the gene sequence or code of a virus. We then use our technology to synthesize the virus code into a real biological product. The code contains genetic instructions that our plants can read, and we insert it into bacteria called Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We submerge the plants in a bath with the bacteria that carries the information into the plant cells. And using a vacuum, we suck out the air between the plant cells and replace it with the liquid. The plants absorb it like a sponge. At the end of their bacterial bath, we return our plants to a carefully controlled greenhouse to let them get on with their natural growing business for at least 4 days. Now the plants will start producing the most important ingredient of our vaccines, virus-like particles.
Dr. Robert Duncan put together the technology that allows the government to transmit thoughts and voices into the heads of Americans.
I run into a few people that claim they got voices in their heads, they sleep inside tinfoil boxes, they do a lot of crazy things, it seems, but when they talk to us, they seem totally normal, they seem totally sane. Are these people crazy, or is the government doing this to them?
The government's doing this to them.
He's not even bothering to hide it.
They're called voice of God weapons.
So the targeted individuals aren't crazy after all.
Okay, doctor, to deliver this, how do they get into your head? I've heard of these Gwen towers. They allegedly were used before, and now they claim that they're not used for anything.
They do match up with the properties and necessary capabilities. They easily could be broadcasting across the country messages to people and causing...
Anyone else besides me find this a little weird? All of the stuff that they are telling us to do when it comes to this eclipse. What do they know that we don't know? They're telling us to get groceries. They're telling us to stock up on essentials. They're telling us to have cash on hand just in case. So what exactly do they know that we don't know? That first photo that you've seen was a news station in Arkansas. This one that you're seeing on screen is from a place in Ohio. So what exactly do they know is coming? What are they not telling us? This is some strange stuff indeed. You tell me what you think about all of this. They're even saying possible gas shortages. Very strange stuff is happening. Some strange things are definitely ahead. Be ready and be prepared, because you never know what's coming next.
Hammer for a bit since those days in the ghetto. I mean, they spent, I think, the first part of the 19th century making lots of money. I think they spent a lot of the second half of the 19th century spending it. They built altogether 44 houses. They collected like mad. They bought lots of land. And then came the 20th century with 2 world wars, high taxation. And of those 44 houses, only one really remains with its collections intact, visited by 450,000 people a year. And around the actual manor house, there are 5,500 acres of land, which we look after. So there couldn't be a bigger difference between how things work.
You're making us pay for water. You're making us pay for grapes, apples, things that God gave us for free. Ha!
And that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
what do you, I mean, the Rothschilds family did start the federal, they divided Europe first, took over Europe with Napoleon.
Don't exaggerate.
No comment on that?
Leadership in government is political power, and political power is an official form of antagonizing the people.
Politics are necessary.
Politics are rules imposed upon the people.
In this country, rules are not imposed. They are the wish of all free citizens.
Travel around a bit, then you'll see how free they are. They have every man in a straitjacket, and without a passport, he can't move a toe. In a free world, they violate the natural rights of every citizen. They have become the weapons of political despots. You don't think as they think. You're deprived of your passport.
Will you allow me
to leave a country is like breaking out of jail.
Yes,
and to enter a country is like going through the eye of a needle.
But
am I free to travel?
Of course you're free to travel.
Only with a passport. Do animals need passports? It's in Congress that in this atomic age of speed, we are shut in and shut out by passport. And free speech, does that exist?
No, you've got it all.
And free enterprise. Can I go into the automobile business and compete with the Auto Trust?
If I can get in a word.
Not a chance. Can I go into the grocery business and compete with the chain stores? Monopoly is the menace of free enterprise.
And that all of that hate and all of that shit is being fostered by these same secret society peoples that's still in all of these groups. They in all of the groups. They not just in the Moors. They in the Aboriginal community. They in the American Indian community. They in the Moorish community. They in the Nuwaubian community. They in any community that they in. You got Freemasons in there stirring the pot. This is where a lot of the information and a lot of the set tripping and the scholar baiting and all this other bullshit is happening from. This is where it's happening. Because they don't want anybody to sit down. Like when I came up in the Conscious community, when I was doing lectures in colleges, LIU and Brooklyn College and all of that, you would have people from all walks of conscious life would come. It wasn't like I'm doing a lecture on Moors, only going to be Moors there. No, you're going to have people from the nation of gods and earths there. You're going to have the Hebrew.
This is the last phase of European colonization. And notice that the countries that are most strongly in support of Israel are not just the United States. It's the United States, Australia, and Canada, the offshoots of England, Anglosphere sometimes called. Unusual forms of imperialism. These are settler colonial societies, societies in which not like India, not like the British in India, say, societies, South Africa was a little like this, or Algeria under the French, settler colonial societies in which the settlers came in, essentially eliminated the native population, also driven by religious principles, very religious groups driven by Christian Zionism. Those are major cultural factors.
On planet Earth, there are 12 primary stargates. Stargates are frequency modulating zones, ascension passages, very valuable pieces of real estate on Mother Earth. Whoever controls the primary stargates controls the energy, the entities, the frequency that can come in at Mother Earth. If you charge a certain stargate with a certain energy underneath the earth, the crystals, giant crystals technology goes up and it charges the ley lines or the brain of Mother Earth. So many of the wars fought on Mother Earth, on planet, you might think that it's for oil, but it's actually Stargate number 10 in the Middle East. You might think, for example, Egypt, Stargate number 4. So these are very valuable pieces of real estate, and Earth is Universal Stargate number 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. The way out is the same way we came in.
Stop using I am affirmations right now. If you only use I am affirmations, you're operating out of the root chakra, which is the lowest frequency possible. No wonder it takes you months to even start attracting anything. All chakra systems have their own affirmations, so let's go over all of them in different affirmations. As I said, the root chakra is I am wealthy, I am abundant. Move up one. The sacred chakra is I feel wealth, I feel abundance. Move up one more. It's the solar plexus chakra, which is I do not chase, I attract. The heart chakra is I love wealth, I love abundance. The throat chakra is I speak wealth into existence. The third eye chakra is I see wealth and abundance all around me. The crown chakra is I understand that wealth is easy to attract. Try these out every day for 7 days straight and let me know how you did.
We will pay dearly next time. And there will be a next time. History teaches us that the next pandemic is a matter of when, not if. It may be caused by an influenza virus or a new coronavirus, or it may be caused by a new pathogen we don't even know about yet, or what we call disease X. There has been a lot of attention on disease X, especially recently. But in fact, it's not a new thing. We first used the term disease X in 2018. It was just the same time I spoke here in this government summit in 2018. And we used disease X as a placeholder for a disease we don't even know about yet, but for which we can nonetheless prepare. COVID-19 was a disease X, a new pathogen causing a new disease. But there will be another disease X, or a disease Y, or a disease Z. And as things stand, the world remains unprepared.
Will increasingly replace repetitive jobs, not just for blue-collar work, but a lot of white-collar work.
What sort of jobs would be lost to AI?
Basically, chauffeurs, truck drivers, anyone who does driving for a living, their jobs will be disrupted more in the 15 to 20-year time frame. And many jobs that seem a little bit complex, chef, waiter, a lot of things will become automated. We'll have automated stores, automated restaurants, and altogether in 15 years, that's going to displace about 40% of jobs in the world.
40% of jobs in the world will be displaced by technology?
I would say displaceable.
What does that do to the fabric of society?
Well, in some sense, there's the human wisdom that always overcomes these technology revolutions. The invention of the steam engine, the sewing machine, the electricity have all displaced jobs, and we've gotten over it. The challenge of AI is This 40%, whether it's 15 or 25 years, is coming faster than the previous revolution.
So inclusion is a national security imperative.
We are screwed.
We fight today, and we are going to fight in the future using brain power.
Hello? Anybody home?
And if that brain, who's going to revolutionize the way we fight in space, we fight in cyber, just happens to be in a trans body, you should want them all serving alongside me.
No.
But it's inclusion that actually drives that.
I don't believe you.
Because you can bring people in, and if they don't feel safe to speak up, if they don't feel safe to bring their full selves to work,
boy, do you sound soft.
You're not going to get the value of the diversity.
There's that word again.
So for us, it is absolutely critical to drive our future success as an organization and potentially on the battlefield.
Oh, we're going to lose the next war.
You resent your success based on some things you've said they disagree with. That's the whole thing. They got the right to their opinion. I got the right to my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? We all have the right to our opinions, but so many people will lose their jobs, lose their careers for taking the steps that we took. You know, we went down for like a year and a half. You know, people think that I got, kicked out of Adidas for the tweet. We were having problems before. They were stealing my designs. They still trying to sue me. It's like, get right. Right. No, get right. Be honest. Y'all gonna send me $100 million a year, then say that I misallocated the marketing. I was the marketing. Look at where y'all at now. Look at where we at right now. Y'all want to play? You're not gonna have me nap on the board. These companies, Gap, Balenciaga, they just want to use the celebrities and have us be like the polo man on the top of the horse. And everybody knows, everybody felt what I felt. You know what I'm saying? I even said the apology and they still with me. You know what I'm saying? I said apology. Some of the stuff I was saying was true. So until y'all come up and say, yo, what he was saying, some of that was true, then go ahead with all that. Do you take back any of the anti-Semitic stuff you might have said? Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts of the fake indoctrination that y'all put into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules. I mean, just like calling DEFCON on Jews. And that's, like, you take back any of that sort of more extreme stuff. You know what? For all the kids that love me, all the Jewish kids that love me, I'm sorry if y'all had to hear a grown-up conversation with us screaming at each other. But we got to a point where something needed to happen. Something needed to be said. Somebody needed to say something. Now, if you're in an argument with somebody, you're not going to say everything the right way. But it got to a point where y'all ain't going to just keep running, start calling me bizarre and press for all these years. I got to a point, how many more times y'all going to call me crazy? How many more times y'all going to give me fake medication that makes me fat off of a misdiagnosis when I really have slight signs of autism from the car accident? But then y'all gave me, you say, whatever, just give them that bipolar medication. Y'all try to kill the superheroes. But we here,
We're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The U.S. is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same.
You're a crumb bum, the three of you, and I challenge you. You're a coward. You're a yellow sneak. And if you want to, now what I say, let's forget all the rules of this great country we live in. I will go back to that war with the three of you. Just me.
Mayor Rizzo,
you're a crumb creep coward.
I wanted to look at why women in most every society outlive men. They looked at fight or flight or freeze, but women have another hormone that shows up that isn't that. It's actually a hormone that is about caring, tend and befriend. And what women will do when there's a crisis, call Deborah, call Cynthia, get Tanisha, we gonna all get together. If I were to say to my husband, I go, listen, he's struggling with something, you wanna call your brother? No. I got this. I'm going in the cave. Right. Well, here's what they've learned about women. The more women gather, the larger the number and frequency, the longer you will live. It literally is connected to life longevity. I keep telling them, come up out of there. Get your friends. Talk to somebody, right? There's absolutely no reason why that can't change. It's the socialization. It's that hyper-masculinity. I don't need another man to tell me what to do. You know, it's insane. I think we need each other. We need to come together. And men, and in different parts of the world, men do come together.
Yeah.
Well, and they live longer, right?
And
Sardinia is this island. There have been studies on it. Like, why do men live as long as women there? And they have all these friends. They have those social ties.
So these connections become what's most critical, right? And to give yourself permission and give your children, your sons, permission to be able to access that.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
You recognize?
Yes. University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, R.J. Reynolds and stuff has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
Chairman Clements?
And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee, to sell those with a vaccine in them?
You recognize?
Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it. All we're saying is if it does have the vaccine in it, make sure it's listed as a pharmaceutical so people can get the proper dosage.
My question is right now, can you walk into a grocery store and there be a head of lettuce for sale that has a vaccine in it? I don't think that's allowed under state law presently. And if it is, and you have to list it as a pharmaceutical, are we going to then have Walgreens pharmacists with a refrigerated section? I mean, how's this going to play out?
You recognize?
Thank you. This is more of a consumer protection bill right here, is to make sure that if you're going in to buy tomatoes and there's a polio vaccine in